All right, everybody, we're back at it. Honor and pleasure to be here once again. And this one, they keep getting more and more special. We got some really good bottles here to share. This is episode 51 of Tequila and Transactions. I'm here with the one and the only Ricardo Carrillo with RC Lending. He's gonna, talk a little bit about himself. We're gonna talk a lot of tequila. So we got a lot to get through here today. But I want to pass you the mic, bro. Let you introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what you do, and then I'll get started on cracking this one, bro.
I appreciate it. My name is Ricardo Carrillo. I'm the branch manager for Team RC Lending, and I've been in the lending space for the last 5 years. We've been working on growing the team now and getting licensed in all 50 states, and it's been really cool to see the team grow this year. I feel like I've put a lot of time and energy into bringing on more team members and just overall helping my team kind of copy and paste my strategies that have helped me scale to a business that's doing $100 million a year in closed loan volume. And I'm looking forward to just building more relationships and take it to the next level.
It's beautiful, bro. I see you. I knew who you were and seen what you were doing even before my girlfriend Ashley told me about you and told me a little tidbit about all you guys working at Chase together and just kind of like how you guys all came from there and now here. It's kind of interesting to see go down the lens creating his whole business, Ashley creating hers and you creating your empire.
Totally.
It's crazy, man, just to see kind of where you guys were, where you're at now, and kind of you guys all coming back together.
100%.
So yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. Real estate definitely, there's good times and bad times, but you've obviously been doing some really good things. So definitely pick your brain on that in a little bit, as much as you want to share with the people. I don't expect you to give away all your secrets, bro. I know there's some things that you're going to keep to yourself, but it is what it is. Everyone has their own unique way of working in this industry.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you have to do what works for you. You have to do what, essentially what's going to, bring the people to you that you want to work with as well. You can't always work with everybody. So I feel like you really have to kind of cater to those folks, that you want to work with.
Totally.
So, but yeah, man, if you're okay with it, let's go ahead and start drinking a little tequila.
Let's see it, yeah.
Let's get a little honest right now. See what kind of where the conversation
what
takes
secrets
us.
get spilled with the tequila.
So this one actually is one of my favorites, bro. Tequila Ocho has kind of made huge waves in the tequila industry. As of late, they are actually really local to where I'm from, where my family's from in Jalisco. They're from Arandas, and Arandas is a huge city within Jalisco, really close to Tepatitlan, about an hour 20, hour 30 from Tequila itself.
Okay.
So I always say no seal, no deal. So the seal right here of approval is right here on the right here on the cork. So now you got to break it to get it open. So the thing is that this is directly from Mex. It's one of many bottles I've smuggled into the U.S.
Yeah.
Oh man, it smells like candy. Once you get a whiff of that too, bro, before we pour it. But an extra añejo.
Yeah, that smells really good.
Aged at least 18 months to 2 years in the barrel.
Bottle number 5,160.
Yep. So we're the lucky ones that get 51. To try 50. Yeah.
51 for podcast 51.
That's crazy. Yeah, 51 episodes, and then we're trying bottle 5,116. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, vintage 2018. So this was bottled about 6 years ago. We're the lucky guys and a few of our audience members here that get to try it. But the cool thing about Tequila Ocho is that they take a lot of pride in their product. It's more of an artesanal tequila. It's very made more or so for the consumer in Mexico, and now they've got so freaking huge that they're just selling bottles all over the country, and now in the U.S. making huge strides. Tequila Ocho kind of made really big waves when they first came out a few years ago with their blancos, and then obviously, as some people know, you got to age your blancos in barrels for anywhere between 6 months to 8 months for a reposado. In about 8 months to a year for an añejo, and then after that, you're now in the extra añejo range. So this guy's been in the in the barrel for about 2 years. It takes about 8 years for the actual the agave to mature. So you're talking about 10 years in the making for this thing.
Yeah. Cool.
And bottled 6 years ago, so we're talking about 16 years in the making for this thing. So Definitely a lot of love that goes into this brand. They, like I said, they've exploded. They're huge out here now in the United States. You can see some of their bottles are like in Bevmo, Total Wine, stuff like that. So you see a lot of their blancos are starting to make waves here in the U.S. But this one in particular, we're going to compare it though. They're very big on not doing any additives, any colorings, anything like that. So this is a very, I would say, clean, well-made tequila, right? So we're going to taste the difference because, I see you got 1942 on the table. That's an añejo, a lot darker than this.
Yeah,
that one's going to have a little bit more sweetness to it. But we're going to try them, see what's up. But
let's do it.
This guy right here, I'm super excited to try, bro, and share it with you because, like I said, I've never had it yet. And last time me and Ashley were in Mexico, one of my homies saved me a bottle because we had bought this for my dad for Christmas, and he never got to try it. I mean, because my dad's stingy, he won't really bring out the good bottles until it's time, or
of course
if he feels it's a special occasion. But he got mad at me and Ashley a little bit. He was like, "Why didn't y'all bring me two? So one so I can drink and one so I can put in my collection." So. I knew his ass was not going to open it, so I was like, I knew I was going to have to buy my own to taste it. So we brought this one back, I think earlier this year, I think in March. But yes, it smells like caramel, dude. It has like a really sweet smell to it.
Yeah, it is. It smells bomb.
I mean, I'm not gonna talk it up too much, bro. Let's just try it. See what's up, man. Salud, bro. Cheers.
Saludcita. Oh yeah, that's hella smooth.
Ooh, yeesh, that's delicious.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, super clean, super smooth.
Yeah.
At the end there, you get a lot of sweetness right at the end there.
Yeah.
And that's just you're tasting the barrel.
Yeah.
Tasting the barril, essentially, because of the fact that you're getting all that oakiness. And a lot of times they're I don't know if this one is specifically is in American oak barrels. Usually they're some kind of American oak or something like that, but. Their maestro tequilero is a very famous tequilero. His name is Carlos Camarena. He's done a lot. He's done G4. He's been involved a lot in a lot of brands that are kind of taking off. Like they've been around. I don't know if you've seen like Fortaleza, Cascawin, all those kind of companies. The Camarena family, like they're really super heavily involved in tequila.
I see.
So a lot of them get really involved in like. Some of the more smaller tequila brands, and it's just to be able to kind of help them and guide them on their journey of making tequila, and you can taste the fact that there's a lot of love that was put into this bottle.
Tastes hella good.
They've done a lot of collabs too, bro. They recently did a collab with a company in New York called Widow Jane, and what they did is they had them ship their barrels to Mexico for their whiskey, and then they aged their tequila in their whiskey barrels.
Oh.
It's a little deeper color than this. I believe that one is like 50. This one's 40%. That one's like a 54, 52%.
Oh, shoot.
So, yeah, it'll light your hair on fire, give you some chest hair. But super sweet, too. Very well-made tequila. But the cool thing about this company is they're doing a lot of collabs, a lot of work with other brands, too. So,
yeah.
And I think
this is
our audience really wants tequila now too, so I can only pour up a little bit for the folks behind the scenes.
Yeah. This one's good. It's gonna shut out the 1942.
To each their own, bro. I would say for me, like I always tell people too, like tequila's like wine, bro. You got to find what you like.
100%.
People always think like, oh man, like just think Jose Cuervo or like something whack, right? Something that people just like
pick.
Here you go.
Yeah. No. 1942 is actually not my favorite tequila, but I know you've had it on the podcast before. Maestro Dobel.
Shit!
One of my favorite tequilas.
Yeah,
and I had a big patona, the 3-liter with the little light.
The light on the bottom.
And that one was from Mexico. That's the party bottle. Yeah,
for sure.
I actually gave it to a friend of ours who actually worked at Chase with us.
Oh shit!
Who closed on his first property in LA.
Nice.
And I was like, it's fitting for the bottle.
For sure.
I'll send it over to him. So I sent it to him. And then actually one of my realtor partners who closed on a property in Georgia as well.
Yeah.
I sent them both the same bottle. Because it's like literally my favorite tequila. That one's so good. Every time I go to Mexico, I always bring one back. But 1942, I feel like gets a lot of hype. It's just not my favorite tequila. I just feel like it's strong and it's not, there's other tequilas that could taste better. I think this one just gets hyped a lot for the price.
It gets hyped a lot because of the name.
Yeah.
Honestly, 5 years ago, it was way better. The thing that usually happens is once you get fame, they start to level off on the...
Then they got to do it faster.
Yeah, they want to produce it quicker.
Yeah.
A little bit of kind of the, I would say, the love and just kind of the time and energy that's taken into the bottles, it kind of starts to deteriorate and go away just because production is high, demand is high.
Can't do it fast. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're trying to pump it out. And like I was talking about this one, bro, like you're talking about like 8 years for the actual plant to mature for you to make it tequila. So like...
And then sit in the barrel.
Then they're trying to just push them out, right? So you're talking about they're cutting little corners. The integrity really isn't there anymore. So is it going to get you fucked up? Are you going to get you drunk? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Of course.
But, you know, I would say definitely for me, I'm an añejo guy, so I'm going to drink that all day. Like, I'm an añejo dude. A lot of people aren't. Like, they're not a fan of the oakiness. They're not a fan of that taste.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I would tell them, go try blancos. If you're more of a vodka person, you're going to like blancos because they're a little bit more smooth, where you're not getting that oakiness at the end.
Yeah.
They're sometimes, in my opinion, they're more enjoyable because they're meant to be to be shooters or mixed. This is a sipper. Like, you're not supposed to dilute your añejos. It's like a, you know, get like a high-end cognac or whiskey and throw soda in it, bro. People will look at you stupid. Like, what is this first doing?
Yeah.
It ain't
say with Coke.
It ain't Jack and Coke, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, these are sippers for sure. So you want to take your time, enjoy it. These are meant to be enjoyed. That's why they're aged and they have that level of sweetness and oakiness. It's to each their own. Like, you got to find the right thing for your palate.
Totally.
But people always try to steer at things that are popular, and I feel like that's the wrong approach. You want to kind of try different things and see what you like. For me, and Maestro was one of my favorites too, bro. I've always been a big fan of Cristalinos, and they're kind of the ones that kind of revolutionized the game, along with Don Julio 70.
Yeah, both of those are my top two.
Yeah, but those ones, they were the first ones to do it. And some people will talk shit, say that Cristalinos garbage, that it's essentially what they're doing is ruining tequila. People argue with you because of the fact that you're taking this and then you're carbon filtering it to remove the color.
I see.
And make it more smooth, right? So
I didn't know that. Cristalino starts. It starts añejo.
Yeah, imagine you're taking that 1942 and you're going to carbon filter it to remove the color.
Interesting.
And make it a little bit more smoother.
I see.
So people will say, tequila schnapps will say,
you should be doing that. Yeah.
Like, why are you taking all that? Why are you doing all that work to then fuck it up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some, like I said, to each their own. Like, I love Cristalinos. People will argue against me, say they're not big fans.
Yeah.
I know Moises has sent me videos talking a little shit. Like, you know, Cristalinos are garbage, bro. But I mean, like I said, to each their own. You know what I mean? They're obviously made for a reason. Everyone's gonna have their own different, you know, flavor profiles and preferences and shit like that. So like at the end of the day, if you like it, drink it. You know what I mean? It's not like, I mean, people are gonna hate no matter what. So it's like, you know, you got to drink what you're gonna drink and enjoy it. You know,
Do you like mezcal?
I've gotten to enjoy it more. Yeah, like I'm starting to warm up to a little bit more, and it took me going to Oaxaca to really like it.
I see.
Because of the fact that I was always drinking it in cocktails.
Yeah.
There were like spicy cocktails. And I don't fuck with spicy cocktails, bro. Like if I'm gonna eat spicy food, I want spicy food. I don't want jalapenos and shit in my drinks. Yeah. I don't want to be choking on jalapeno seeds in my drinks, bro. So I'm not a fan of it. But a lot of the drinks I was trying with mezcal were more smoky, like spicier drinks, things like that. And then we went to a wedding in November of last year. November of this year. No, last year. It was last year. Mm-hmm. So in November of last year, we went to a wedding, and all they had was mezcal.
Oh.
And that's what they were like giving all their wedding guests. What was drinks of mezcal, like, as you know, when you entered the venue, they were like giving out drinks of mezcal. I didn't know. God,
interesting.
But they were making it with passion fruit, bro. I fell in love.
Oh.
Because passion fruit really masks that oakiness and kind of complements it a little bit.
I see.
Citrus does a really good job with that as well. And I think citrus always goes really well with tequila, and the same thing with mezcal.
Yeah.
But when I went to Oaxaca, I learned that because it has such a high alcohol content, you have to kind of aerate it a little bit.
Interesting.
So you have to really kind of let those mezcal vapors evaporate a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to enjoy. So, dude, I was taking shots of mezcal. I was taking pulque, all kinds of crazy shit in Oaxaca. Oaxaca's beautiful. If you've never gone, I recommend going just because the food scene's insane. You're not too far from the beach. The beach is amazing in Oaxaca. It's probably, to me, one of the more underrated beaches in Mexico. It's a bold statement, but nice. Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And Puerto Escondido is one of their areas right there that's like on the coast. Huatulco as well. Beautiful areas. But like it took like me going on an actual like tour of mezcal and learning about it to enjoy it. And it was crazy. They took literally a piece of cactus, a little benca of the cactus, and they were like pouring the shot on the benca. And by the time it hit your mouth, all the vapors have evaporated and it just tastes hella smooth. Nice. It tastes really good. So the good thing to do here is like when you're pouring it, like pour it in a glass like this.
I see.
Swirl it around, let it aerate.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to be essentially drinking all that alcohol vapor. That's what's going to give you kind of that,
the flavor,
that weird taste, and it's also going to kind of just translate into like you feel like you got fire in your esophagus, bro. So it's like, but yeah, I mean, mezcal for me definitely starting to warm up to it, bro, and definitely may start bringing it on the show a little bit more. I have had mezcal on the show. I didn't bring it. One of my guests brought it, and it was cool, man. We got to like kind of compare and contrast, and kind of go through the different flavor profiles. But it's a lot smokier, man. Mm-hmm. A lot smokier than people think it is.
Yeah, I started getting. I forget where I went. I went to this restaurant, and then I think it was in San Francisco, called Chotomate.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a drink that is like an old fashioned, but with mezcal.
Oh,
and
shit!
It comes out smoky.
Uh-huh.
And I got like hooked on it since then. Of like the old fashioned with mezcal, and the mixture was just like great. So like then I just started ordering it at different restaurants.
Awesome.
When we were in Miami, we went to this restaurant called Puppy Steak. They also have one that
Puppy Steak.
Puppy Steak. They also have one where they bring it out with an old fashioned with mezcal that was fire. So I got hooked on it, and I feel like that made me really enjoy mezcal, the way that they mixed it with the old fashioned.
Yeah,
it tastes just really good.
Yeah,
if you ever see it at a restaurant, that one, Chotomate.
That's what I'm gonna try now.
Yeah,
I feel like that gets, because you're adding a little bit of that orange, the citrus in there, right? From a little bit of bitters.
Yep.
Still do it too. They throw a little cherry in there too, or
not in the ones that I have.
Okay.
Yeah, just.
But yeah, I think that's gonna taste hella good too, because you're getting that citrus from that orange, kind of cut up that smokiness a little bit. That sounds hella good.
Yeah, it's really good.
Sounds really good.
Now we get to try the 1942.
Whenever you're ready, man. Whenever you're ready. But yeah, this one was good, man.
This one has no stamp of approval. In fact, actually, I think it was a gift from a client of mine.
Well, there you go, man. We're gonna
we get
pop it on there.
Pop it open. Yeah, we are missing the stamp of approval though. I agree with you there.
It's all good, bro. It's tequila. Tequila. It's the key to my heart, man. I'm glad just to be able to share it with you, bro. Thank you.
Bomb.
Can you see the biggest difference we're gonna see right now is the color, bro? It's the biggest difference. This one's gonna be a little darker.
Yeah.
Comparing it to this one.
And you can see that a little bit.
It's a little. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but just slightly more color here. Smells like vanilla. Hella sweet.
I don't think I've ever actually just drank it by itself.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You always drink it with in a drink?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do smell the sweeter.
It's a little bit sweeter than this one, and got that kind of
Have you tried it?
caramel note. Yeah, I've had it. I haven't had it in a minute, but we'll see.
I haven't had it in a minute either.
We'll see. Less sweeter.
Definitely sweeter.
Much
you get that right away.
Yep, you do. Kind of hits you in the face a little bit, because just comparing the last one we had, just...
It's actually not as strong as I thought, I feel.
Yeah.
But like I said, I haven't had it by itself like this. Before, it's normally just drinking it from the bottle.
Hell yeah.
Where did you get these cups? These.
Oh, the shot glasses?
Yeah.
So when we were in Tequila, we went for... Where did we go for? Went for a charity was it for the charity golf tournament, and we went together with everybody.
Maybe, yeah, that was it.
So every single year, one of my fraternity brothers throws a charity golf tournament in Mexico.
Oh.
And it's every January. Every year, it's the first year was to help a family in need that had just lost somebody during COVID. And last year we did it in honor of a school that needed help. We were responsible for helping raise funds for the kids' uniforms that year.
Yeah.
We also got them
guess you guys get to drink today.
A backpack, some toys, all kinds of stuff. So definitely something that we like to do. We like to give back a lot. And that's something that really I love to do as well, is to give back. You know, I work really hard, and you know, I definitely want to be able to give back to those who need help and who are less fortunate. So yeah, we do that golf tournament every year. And then we do like a 3-day thing, like Friday night's dinner, Saturday's golf, and then we party that night, and everyone goes, whoever's still around and able and alive.
Of course.
Yeah, goes to Tequila on Sunday. So it's like 3 days of partying. It's a lot of fun. We have a great time. But on Sunday, we usually go to Tequila. We all kind of get together. We have a bus that picks us up from the hotel. It takes us everybody out there. We usually go on a little tour.
Do you guys go to Guadalajara for the
tournament? Yeah, the tournament's in Guadalajara. So we're flying to Guadalajara. We usually stay at the Hard Rock. And then we'll stay at the Hard Rock, and then we get shuttled around.
Dope.
A shuttle service that takes us to dinner on Friday, and then they take us to the golf course on Saturday morning. And then Saturday night, they throw a award dinner. And then Sunday is tequila all day.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it's a lot of tequila, a lot of partying, a little bit of golf.
Yeah.
A lot of partying. A lot of tequila, a whole lot of tequila. But on Sunday, it's a day where we're all just kind of get together, go to tequila, just kind of hang out. And so Ashley, myself, and a bunch of other guys that were part of the whole crew, we all went out to tequila. We went and just hung out. And there are a bunch of people selling stuff out in the streets. And there's these people that were selling their little custom shot glasses.
Yeah.
And so the homeboy was there with his little etcher and was etching the designs in it, right? And so I was like, what's up? You can put our names on them too? He goes, hell yeah, I can. So and then right there, he hooked me and Ashley up. We got 2 of them.
Nice.
Put our names on them and brought them back.
That's cool.
Our little keepsake.
They're cool
for the trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I thought, you know, to me, like, I love it when they do the little cactus inside the glass. So I was like, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I was
100%.
Like, pick it up, bring it home, and add it to the collection. You know?
Totally. No, that's dope.
For sure.
I like it. We're gonna have to go with that tequila for sure. Over these 2.
Yeah, this, in my opinion, it's just a little too sweet for me. I think it's just like I forgot how sweet it was, to be honest with you.
It is very sweet. No,
But back in the day, bro, like that bottle was king. Like if you had in 1942, it used to come in a green box, like a dark bottle with a green label. It was nice, dude. The OG bottle was hella nice. The OG bottle was super nice.
Or it had the tape here, right?
Yeah. It had the little label right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The little label on that front piece. It was nice, you know what I mean. And then when they first launched this one, like about 10 years ago, in the beginning it was hella good. It was always hella good. And I feel like just as they continue to get that fame, once you captured your audience at that point,
100%. Yeah, people are gonna
give a shit.
Buy.
Like,
Totally,
they're still gonna buy, right?
Totally.
Not to talk shit, but I feel like they just stopped caring.
Yeah,
and they just wanted to cut corners. I mean, still very enjoyable in my opinion. Depends on your palate. If you like tequila on the sweeter side, this is definitely for you.
Yeah.
If you're not a tequila, if you don't like tequila or you don't like sweet in general, then for sure you want to get their blanco.
Totally.
Get some sort of blanco or something that's a little bit more of a joven tequila. You don't want all that sugar and all that sweetness.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoy it, bro. I think for me, like I said, like I told you earlier, if it's an añejo, I'm gonna drink it. That's just my thing. You know what I mean? So.
If it's tequila, I'm gonna drink it. We're good there.
Cheers to that, bro.
I love it.
So anything you don't like? Like, is there anything that you've had that you're like, never gonna drink that shit again?
I'm not a big vodka person.
Yeah, I'm not either.
No,
that shit gets me sick, dude, to be honest, because that's all the sugar. Yeah.
Like, I pretty much would say I'll stick to like cognac is okay. Like,
Yeah.
like I'll drink like Hennessy Douce. It's
Yeah.
fine. But it's not my like top
Little
pick.
Hennessy XL.
Number one pick would for sure be tequila.
Yeah.
Mezcal, like I said, I got more into it with the old fashions.
Yeah.
I'm not a big like bourbon or whiskey person, to like know the drinks either. So I've mainly just been sticking to tequila. To be honest.
Is there any tequilas that you've tried that you don't like? Like you're like that shit's trash.
I mean,
Never
I
drink
think
that again.
I think all the low level Napoleons, like I just can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Have you had
like the little round, the blue one with the little round bottle?
Oh,
the
the Don Julio Blanco.
Yeah, I just cannot.
Yeah.
It cannot.
Yeah. Unless you're mixing in some good juices or something in there and diluting it. Yeah, it's
hell no. no.
Yeah. For me, I tried. I don't know which gender, but it's trash. 818.
Oh, 818. Yeah, I don't think I've tried it actually.
Sorry, genders.
Yeah.
Tequila's trash.
Casamigos
is cool. Now
okay.
now it ain't as good.
Yeah, I don't.
And the same thing because Clooney sold it off.
Yeah, cloud.
Clooney sold it off to those investors. I think they were Chinese investors and started cutting corners. And yeah, bro, it's trash. It's not as good as it once was. There's another one out there that I'm thinking of. The Rocks Tequila is E40s is pretty good. That Terramana is alright. It's gotten hella big in Mexico, which is funny. All the Mexicans love the Rock.
Oh, really?
So like his tequila's hella famous in Mexico now. You see it in Costco.
I didn't know that.
You see it being sold more. Yeah, it's hella funny. Like I'm like, what the fuck? They have this shit here? Like,
yeah.
I thought everything. A lot of the good shit gets exported because that's where the money is, right? Fortaleza has gotten huge to the point where like they limit you on what you can buy at their distillery.
Oh wow!
And they limit what they sell in Mexico, and everything that's shipped out here is Fortaleza because their original brand, Los Abuelos. That's a correction I have to make on my pod too. Is I was confused. I thought there was like a collaboration between those two companies, but essentially it's the same company, but they're not able to call their tequila Los Abuelos in the United States because there's an Abuelos rum, and Abuelos rum owns that name, holds that copyright name, and so they had to rebrand when they came to the United States. So now they're known as Fortaleza here, and it was in honor of because it's a salsa company. Salsa owns them, so it was in honor of the father, great-grandfather, and great-great-grandfather who started making tequila.
I see.
That was the reasoning behind Los Abuelos, and then later they called it Fortaleza, the fortune of the family, and they rebranded in the U.S.
Interesting.
But that brand has gone fucking berserk. It's insane. Just to where they were and where they are now. Same thing with Tequila Ocho, Cascahuina is another one. Tesoro. There's a bunch of brands that were hella small, and just because of the time and care they took into making the bottles, a lot of tequila schnapps and connoisseurs like just went crazy. And like they're buying shit up, and just the demand went through the roof. And then through COVID, tequila just became that much more popular here in the United States. And as of last year, tequila, for the first time ever, is the number one alcohol imported.
Oh wow!
So they just overtook vodka.
Holy
vodka would held on to that record for decades.
Yeah.
And now tequila is the number one imported alcoholic beverage.
That's
and insane. Mexico also has Modelo as the number one imported beer in the United States now. So Mexico's making moves, you know what I mean? But I mean, tequila's gone hella popular. There's hella brands out there, but like there's one that like I can't remember the name, but I was just like, I'm never gonna drink this shit again. I can't think of the name anymore. If I think of it, I'll tell you. But there's a few out there. You know, you gotta, like I said, you gotta try them. You gotta like experiment a little bit.
Do you have a favorite tequila right now?
I want to say Tequila Ocho is one of my favorites right now.
Okay.
Tequila Ocho, Fortaleza, Cascahuina. There's a small, very kind of like mom and pop owned tequila company in Tepatitlán, near where my family's from, in Los Altos of Jalisco, and they make like more smaller batch stuff. You're not gonna really hear it out here. Like they're starting to sell it more in Mexico.
Yeah.
They're called Reserva de la Torre, and it's a small family, and they make an extra añejo that knock your socks off.
It's good.
Yeah, it's just super smooth, a little sweet, a little caramel taste to it. Similar to this, a little bit more sweeter though. But Yeah, I mean, like I said, like I'm an extra añejo guy, so that's where I'm going to gravitate towards.
Totally.
So usually those brands are the ones kind of I stick to. But yeah, dude, there's so much fucking different kinds. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
especially now.
now compared to 10 years ago, there's so many different kinds. So definitely, like, there's a whole wide variety of different kinds. So like, tell people all the time, like, just try them, experiment. But if you don't know what the hell to buy, just call me. I'll give you a little recommendation. I usually have a couple of realtor buddies of mine will call me like, hey, what do I buy?
Yeah.
For a client that likes tequila. And so, but yeah, E40s is pretty good, to be honest with you. E40, like when I had it, I was like, oh shit, this is not that bad. I mean, it's actually pretty good. But George Clooney was one of the main ones, like that really kind of started
Celebrities getting tequila.
Yeah, and then after that, you have guys like God, who is it? Is it Jadakiss or not Jadakiss? I think young. I'm not sure who the guy who owns Avion. I think it's Young Jock or Jeezy. I think it's Young Jeezy. I think Young Jeezy is involved in that actual. I thought it was P Diddy for a while, but it wasn't P Diddy. But I think it's Young Jeezy who is part owner of Avion. Avion is pretty good too. I don't know if you have an Avion. Avion is really good. And then you got guys like Kevin Hart, who have the Don Camarino, or like the Jenners, like all these celebrities making their own tequila just because it's that much more,
Of course.
sought after. It's that much more famous now. And like,
Of course.
if you're not a celebrity, you don't got your own tequila, who are you, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why all the and then E40 himself,
Yeah.
Mr. Goon with a spoon, like this guy's touches a little bit of everything. So all these entrepreneurs like making moves.
I'm curious though, what got you into real estate initially? Because I don't think we've talked about like what your journey.
Well, dude, that's like the great pivot point, because I was just going to ask you the same thing. What
Yeah.
got you into lending? For me, dude, to be honest with you, I tell people this all the time. I was like bred for the business. Like as a kid, I grew up all around real estate, not knowing that my parents were property owners. And so for me, like when I was a kid, my dad or my mom would pick us up from school. We rarely would go home because we were spending a lot of times at our apartment
Interesting.
as kids. And so as kids, like the way we earned our allowance was sweeping upstairs, sweeping up the carports, cleaning the laundry room, helping my dad fucking change toilets, change sinks out, like.
Yep.
And I grew up thinking my mom and dad were maintenance people at these apartment buildings, and then as I got older, started really realizing that my parents were the owners of these buildings. And it took like a kid that I was hanging out with at one of the apartment buildings to be like, oh yeah, something your dad Don Ricardo. And I'm like, why do you call my dad Don Ricardo? He's like, oh, because he's the owner. I was like, what are you talking about? My dad doesn't own this shit. He's like, yeah, your parents are the owners of these buildings. I'm like, nah, dude, my dad's like the maintenance guy. And my mom is the one who cleans. Like, what are you talking about, right? And so like, and then later just like, and I think my parents to this day, because they made us super humble. Like, to be honest with you, I never grew up thinking I had money. My parents were always struggling. And it's because they made us super humble. They made us work for everything. Yeah. And as I got older, my responsibilities grew. And my responsibilities went from being the assistant cleaner to like talking with tenants, talking with city officials, talking with lenders, talking with realtors, talking with the city. That was the fun part. My parents never wanted to deal with the city, and I was always the one.
Yeah.
And since my English was really good, and my mom was the only other one that spoke pretty good English, me and her would take a lot of the reins on the family business.
Yeah.
And as I got older, my dad would always be in my ear, like, you gotta be in real estate. I'm like, I'm not trying to be a fucking realtor. I hate realtors. They're hella sleazy. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anything. All they care about is the deal. They just want to make the commission.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, no, but you gotta do it. Like, you gotta be the family realtor. No one in the family's a realtor. I mean, there's some guys, but they're like, they do their own thing. They're in the city. Everyone's in commercial. We need someone in residential. And you can do it. Like, you'll be great at it. You have a good personality. It's like, you're smart. And my dad was talking me up. I'm like, bro, you just want me to fucking be a realtor so you can have me go shop deals for you, bro. Of course. You have me showing you property and shit and like sending you all the listings. And so, long story short, like, he just kept bugging me. I graduated college, I didn't know what the hell to do. And I'm like fucking looking around, like, what am I going to do? I should have started interning for something or doing something. I was just worried about making money. I was waiting tables at Outback Steakhouse, working at a jewelry store full time. And so I was literally fucking had 2 jobs, just working my ass off. And it took literally one of my bosses at the jewelry store to sit me down and be like, hey, like, you're the most educated person in the building. I can only pay you so much, but you're worth way more than that. One of my husband's college buddies is doing really well in real estate. He's trying to build a team. You should talk to him. And it was like an epiphany, like something that would I was like, fucking light bulb went off, and I'm like, my dad's been on my ass to be a realtor this whole time. You know, this guy over here is blowing up. He needs help.
Yeah.
And so then I took the meeting and met up with him. Took me on broker tour, saw fucking multi-million-dollar houses in Danville and Lafayette and Alamo and Wanna Creek, and I was just like, this is fucking fun. Like, drive around in a Mercedes-Benz and look at fucking $1 million houses. That's what I thought it was. Like, it's way more than that, right? It's like, and Joshua, who's still to this day, me and him are business partners, literally took me under his wing and taught me everything. Like, how to negotiate, like, made me feel really comfortable to be on the phone. Taught me everything that he was doing to really kind of like build his business. And he was always preaching, like, build your fucking database. Build your database, maintain that shit. That's what's going to keep you in this business. You want to build that repeating referral business. That's your bread and butter right there. Everything else that comes, like from you doing door knocking or holding open houses or whatever else, social media, whatever else, like all that shit's just supplemental. Mm-hmm. Take care of your people. Look at your business, like feel like your business is a funnel. Like, always envision it as a funnel. You put one ball in, one ball drops out.
Yep.
So you got to keep feeding the fucking funnel. And if you're not feeding your funnel, then you're not going to have clients that are ready to buy or ready to sell.
Totally.
So it was that mentality and him just like always like checking in on me. And still to this day, me and him have that relationship. We're like feeding off each other. Like, and you know, the crazy thing is now I've outgrown him. My team is bigger than Boulevard itself, like our company. So like I have more agents on my side than he does, but at the same time, like, we never were about just recruiting hella people. It's always about getting quality people who we feel like are going to be a great fit and who are going to bring value to the room and just be really great assets to the company.
Yeah.
And it's not always about production for us. It's always more about who they are as people and, you know, how they treat the business. And we always want people who are going to be helping people.
100%.
Want to be team players.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me, it was just, like, learning from him, shadowing him, and just, like, our business mentality from behind the scenes. Like, my parents just growing up, you know, they have a middle school education and have multi-million-dollar properties. If they can do that shit, so can I.
Yeah.
And so just coming from that kind of mentality, from that family, like, where real estate really was our family business. And like it's crazy, like, to think like a lot of my uncles made all their wealth in real estate. And if that mentality that kind of took our family from where we were to where we're at now. So
yeah.
And may he rest in peace, but my Uncle Jaime was the main pioneer of that. And he left us way too soon, but he was the reason why my parents are where they are, why my uncles are where they are, because he told my parents at a young age when they came to the U.S., they got married, my uncles were like, you're going to live here, you're going to save your money, you're not spending a fucking dime on rent, you're going to go out and buy your first house. We're going to help you buy your first house. It is that mentality that changed the way we thought.
Yeah.
And that we were not going to be renters, we were going to be property owners.
Yeah.
And we were going to be the ones renting property.
Yeah.
And so for us, that's just kind of the mentality of the family. And, you know, it's crazy. I walk into family parties or go to family parties and there's Mercedes and fucking Lamborghinis in the lot. And it's all built through real estate. And I still got an OG uncle who's like in his 70s, still driving a red Ferrari.
Oh, shit.
Building all his wealth. He built all his wealth off buying apartment buildings in Daly City, California.
Nice.
And literally owns a fucking block of apartment buildings.
Oh, shit.
Just because he's still to this day, he's never been a seller. He's always been a buyer. He buys when the market's shit. He buys when the market's great. And that's his mentality.
Yeah.
And so it's that kind of mentality that really kind of sparked the interest for me and a lot of my family that if we're going to build generational wealth, it's going to be through real estate.
Nice. Hell yeah.
So that's where it came from, bro.
It's funny that you say that because even for me also growing up, it was a very similar situation because my parents had also purchased properties and didn't know anything about how to actually run numbers on deals or, you know, anything behind the scenes of, you know, the real number crunching that a lot of investors do now was just not something that I'm sure it's the same thing with your parents, right? It's just kind of just like blindly going into it and be like, we'll figure it out.
Sometimes with a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be a good one.
100%. And so like my dad has been in structural steel for over 40 years.
Shit.
And he started working when he was 9 in Mexico. He came to the U.S. when he was 23. And he started in structural steel. He continued structural steel here when he was working, and made a lot of money early on in his career with like a business partner, taking on a ton of jobs. And when my family members would come and then work with my dad, and so it was very streamlined for him to kind of know how to navigate the team and like do the things that needed to get done. And from that, took his money to go buy more real estate. So
smart man.
For me, being little, the same thing. Like we were at the apartments cleaning.
Yeah.
We have properties in Oakland and in San Lorenzo, and it was the same thing. We were changing toilets. Anytime we had turnover,
crazy, bro.
we were doing the flooring. We were doing everything. We were doing the painting. Even to this day, me and my brother will still continue to go do those things when we have turnover.
Oh, best believe I get those phone calls.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend? I need you to help me come lay this floor, this tile. Like, shit.
Yeah. Like, we've been in the middle of remodeling my Stockton property right now, which is a long-term rental. And it's the same thing. My dad, my brother, they came, that we did a bunch of stuff on the property. I saved a shit ton of money on labor. My dad brought his guys. We turned it around in a couple of weeks. And it's been that way since I was little. And so I had already known that, well, I want to build something. I want to be able to build wealth through real estate.
Correct.
I didn't know that I was going to be working in real estate, which was the funny part. But I knew that it was like, well, I've seen what they've been able to do and what they've been able to achieve through owning properties.
Right.
So why am I not going to continue to build the portfolio for the family that's going to obviously be able to pay for my parents' retirement? And then in addition to that, go buy more properties that we can just continue to add to the portfolio.
Oh, hell yeah, man.
So
that's fucking crazy.
It's hilarious.
Very similar stories, bro.
Yeah.
Very similar.
So from that, I mean, I kind of got pushed into real estate more so unexpectedly, I would say, because I got fired from my job at Chase.
Okay.
And when I got fired, I'll never forget it, because it was December 2nd, 2019, that I got fired when my marketing director came into the branch to give the letter for like my termination. And a week later, I went to a broker's office in Brentwood to leave my resume, because I had wanted to work with David Green, who at the time was the host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. He was the co-host of the Bigger Pockets podcast. And I had been listening to Bigger Pockets for some time. I had been introduced to it through a friend of mine, and it was like all about real estate investing. And Bigger Pockets was super popular at that point in time. Like they were kind of just getting up in their podcast era.
Correct.
And it was also pre-COVID, right? So like podcasts was starting to get picked up. It wasn't really something that was super common.
Yeah.
And then during COVID, it kind of exploded with podcasts.
Yep.
So at the very beginning, he had a real estate team that only had 4 agents, and they were responsible for just like only doing properties here in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I came to him and I was like, I saw that you were posting on your Instagram about hiring. Like, I really want to work with you. I don't know anything about the real estate space, but like I'm super willing to learn. And he wasn't in the office, but the broker ended up leaving my resume on his desk. 2 months later, I get a text message from him saying like, hey, I found your resume on my desk. Let's jump on a call to like talk about the details. I ended up going through like the hiring process with them and got brought on initially as a transaction coordinator.
Oh shit!
So I worked as a TC for 7 months, and I managed like.
Well, that's how you learned.
Yeah,
all the contracts,
everything,
and organized shit,
everything. At that point I ended up figuring out the real estate piece of it with contracts and things like that for California. So I was a TC for 7 months. I was at the peak of it. I was handling like 30 transactions a month as a TC, which was a lot of work.
That's a lot of fucking work.
It was a lot of work, and I was getting really annoyed with the paperwork piece, because that's just not who I am naturally.
Right.
And around that time, like, we started to really build up a lot more deals as a team, and David was getting really frustrated with the lending partners that we had at that point in time, and saying, well, like, these guys aren't able to do it at the level that I'm expecting. Why don't I go try to create my own mortgage team?
Smart.
So he came to me and he said, hey, like, you already have a background in banking. Do you want to help me build a mortgage team?
Yeah.
Instead of being a TC.
Right.
Because initially my thought was, well, let me start off as a TC. I'll work for him for free for 6 months. I'll figure out how to do the work, and then I can learn the real estate piece. I'll get my real estate license, and I'll go and become a realtor. That was like the initial thought. But funny enough, like, even my LLC name is Richie the Realtor.
Yeah,
right?
I was going to ask you that.
So it started off as that, because that's what I was thinking I was going to be doing.
Yeah.
And then I got the opportunity for lending, and I was like, I'm good with numbers. The math has always been easy to me, so like, let's do it. And he put me in touch with like 7 different brokers at the time that he had from his own network. All of which were dog shit. Nobody was actually training me like the way that I needed to be trained to understand how to actually process a deal and like take things from start to finish, from pre-approval to close. Until we came across Christian, who's the current broker now with David, and he was the only person who really like sat down with me 40 hours a week on Zoom, training me and saying, this is what you need to be doing. This is how we're going to structure this. And that's when we really started to take off. Like the first year, I think we did 70 million in closed loan volume as a company. And then the second year we did 100 million. The third year we did 300 million as a company.
Wow.
And then the fourth year we did 300 million again. And then that was last year. So like it was continuing to really build itself up. And I got to learn a lot from actually building up a mortgage company without knowing anything. Mm-hmm. And I was presented with an amazing opportunity through David and willing to grind it out. I mean, the first year was like 14, 16-hour days, not knowing shit, just working all day, every day. Like I only made $50K that year, and it was fucking tough. Like that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
But through all of that experience, I mean, at the peak of it, when I left the company, we had a team of 70, close to 70 people, with both loan officers that were running their own teams,
right?
The broker owners, our pre-approval team. We had a team that was responsible for like lender relations and like going and getting us set up with new lenders that we could add to our network, processors and things like that. And I ended up bringing my entire team with me over to Cornerstone, which is the company that I'm with now, which has been an amazing transition. And this entire year we've done phenomenal.
Shout out, Sean.
Continuing to build up the team, yeah. And honestly, my CEO has just been amazing. My CEO has gone since I transitioned. I'm the number one top producing loan officer out of 350 loan officers at Cornerstone.
That's awesome,
I beat my boss Sean for the month of July.
Shit.
I told him when I first joined, I said I'm coming for your spot, and I said this in January when we were having that conversation.
That's awesome.
So 6 months in, I ended up taking the number one
there
spot.
You go. We need another shot on that, bro. That's awesome. Fuck yeah, we gotta celebrate that.
It's been super fun. Like even and then getting Ashley on board and her bringing in deals now, which has been
she's cool.
Which has been super fun. Yeah, but it's been awesome. Like the journey has been great. I've been able to build up my own real estate portfolio through getting into lending. I take on the control now for all of my parents' real estate and kind of managing that aspect of it too. I helped my brother buy his first house in Hayward 2 years ago, and now he's looking to buy a second one. So he's doing a house hack first. We did a major remodel. Nice. Now he's going to move out of it to buy a new one. So that's been awesome to continue to build that wealth. That's great. Through real estate and what I've seen it do for my clients.
That's amazing, man. I think the hard work, you did all the hard work, dude. It's just and there's an opportunity you seize that a lot of people have it and within their grasp, and they don't want to put in that time. And I think you just spoke on something that's very realistic for a lot of us. Is like you made 50 G's your first year.
Yeah,
and then you
14-hour days,
growing. And I was the same way when I started out, dude. It was like for me, it's like I was working my ass off, working 2 jobs and doing real estate part-time. And I made more money doing real estate part-time than I did in both my other jobs. 100%. And I said, fuck this.
Why don't I just double
I need to
down?
go full-time.
Yeah.
I need to go full-time, double down. And now, like, we've gone from doing anywhere between 10 to 20 transactions a year down to doing 30, 40, 50 transactions a year. And for us, it's like we're just trying to continue to build a team just like you are, that be able to support each other. We want to be able to continue to grow. But I also want time for myself, man. Totally. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to do my things that I like to do. I love going to Mexico. I love going and trying new tequilas. And for me, like, I love golfing too. So like I like going and doing different destinations to go golf and do shit like that. So totally. I think real estate allows us to do that, right? But we have to have that good team set up behind us, and we 100%. Have to have those the structure, the procedures, everything kind of in place. So like when we do take a step away, everything still keeps running to its highest capability. So, but yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. Let me get your glass, bro. We gotta celebrate that. That's fucking great, dude.
Yeah, it was insane.
And that's hella fun. Now I'm gonna go talk shit to Eric Rothner, because Eric Rothner's a buddy of mine. I'm like, hey man,
he came in second place last month.
Ricardo's just taking first place every time, huh? That's dope, man.
It's been
congrats
awesome.
To you, bro. That's fucking awesome. So I think in an alternate universe, because my math is always pretty good too. Like math has always been like my strongest suit, but I think in an alternate universe, you're the realtor and I'm the lender.
That's right.
Cheers, bro. That's hella funny.
Hell yeah. Yeah, it's been hilarious. One thing that, as you were kind of talking, it was making me think is like, I think the biggest difficulty that a lot of people have, because I think post-COVID, we see a lot of people that wanted to get into real estate. And it was like this massive hype, especially for realtors. I would say realtors more so than loan officers,
right?
Because realtors are more on social media,
Correct.
and more people like the actual real estate work because they think, oh, shit, I'm going to go open houses and I'm going to go show houses and it's going to be fine and dandy.
Yeah, I'm going to sit there and serve drinks.
Fucking $1 million house going to sell itself. But no, we all know that that's not the case. And lending is the least fun part of real estate. So most people, I would say, don't really find lending attractive, and just in terms of social media. But I would say that a lot of people wanted to get into the real estate space during COVID and then post-COVID.
Yes.
But even though the hours are what's required, I think a lot of people don't have financial runway to allow themselves to be in real estate because it does require, the ability to make no money for 6 to 12 months.
Super disciplined.
And a lot of realtors and even loan officers that I see, those that I'm training now, like, you have to be in the mindset of treating it like it's an actual business. And if you're not in the mindset of treating it like an actual business, it's not going to grow like an actual business.
Yeah. If you just think that you're going to, like you said, just show up and open the door, shit's not going to happen for you. And the same thing too, if you're not creating those relationships, maintaining those relationships, and you're just taking every deal that's given to you, like a lot of these, younger agents, they go where leads are given to them, right?
Yeah.
But then a lot of those younger agents aren't taught how to nurture and maintain those relationships after the sale.
Totally.
And I think that's one the biggest downfall in their approach is that they're not thinking about it as a business. They're not thinking about the long term.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about that those buyers potentially will become sellers again and then buy something again, or they know somebody.
Yeah.
And it's like your network is your net worth. Like, you have to be able to spider web and touch these different people and create and make those connections, because those people have connections to other people. So that I think the bigger you cast your net, the better you're going to be. A lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people fail that way too, because they're showing up to the office, not making money activities, and just jumping on social media and doing a post.
Yeah.
And then leaving the fucking office and feeling accomplished.
No.
They didn't do anything. They didn't lead generate. They didn't follow up with their past clients. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, the thing is, being able to see that glamour lifestyle that we put up. Like, yeah, it's glamorous. Yeah, we make a shit ton of money. Yeah, I make, good money and drive a nice car and have nice watches and do cool shit. But best believe behind the scenes, like, you're not seeing the fucking 15, 16-hour days I'm putting in.
Yeah.
You're not seeing the fact that I'm constantly touching my clients, and I'm constantly reaching out to people. I'm doing all this marketing, all this shit to be in front of my past clients, but at the same time staying in front of new clients, spending money to do podcasts like this, to be able to repurpose and put online so that people can see the cool shit we do and who I really am as a person. And more than anything, just to be able to resonate with people. Like, people want to work with people who they like and trust.
Totally.
So, people like hanging out, drinking tequila. I'm their realtor, and you're their lender, right?
That's right.
But I mean, it's like, at the end of the day, like, you have to be able to do things that are going to be able to continue to help grow your business and be very intentional with that kind of shit. And so a lot of people don't want to do that kind of stuff because it's hard work.
Yeah.
It's time. It's money. It's not fucking fun.
The new generation doesn't want to do hard work.
It's not. I mean, yeah, cool AI. You're going to use AI to touch your people. Like, cool. But then what happens is when AI goes down, or when you can't get to your computer, like, pick up the fucking phone and call your people, get in front of people. You know what I mean? You have to be able to put yourself in those uncomfortable, environments sometimes and be able to get out of your shell. And for me too, like, one thing I do a lot, and this is my secret sauce for a lot of you realtors who are watching, go fucking network with other realtors that aren't in your immediate industry. And people are like, well, why do you do that? Why are you going to network with other realtors? They're your competition. No. A lot of these people don't take every deal.
Correct.
A lot of people refer deals.
Yeah.
You have to be able to connect with these people as well. You have to create that repeat referral business within your realtor network as well. So that's another little tidbit I always tell people too. Like, make sure you're connecting with other realtors in different markets. You're not only going to be able to have insight in that market, have a buddy in that market, but you're also going to have a referral partner in that market
100%.
too. So I think that's a really important thing that people also don't really realize, is how important it is to leverage those relationships as well too.
I've said the exact same thing to my team on even loan officers too. Like, I've had loan officers that I've built relationships with. A guy that I'm hiring, that I submitted, I sent him an offer on Friday to bring him on board to my team, and he ended up agreeing. Was a loan officer that met me through Instagram, just with us having conversations, like 2 years ago. And then now he's going to start working with me.
There you go.
I have another guy in New York that he and I send a lot of business to each other because I don't do business in New York. Right? So it's just like, you don't, I wouldn't treat it as a competition, because there's more than enough deals and there's more than enough money to go around. in the entire U.S. So, and why wouldn't you want to
Very
work with
much
those
so.
people?
Very much so. I think that's what people get caught up is like, oh no, that's my competition. Oh this, oh that. Like, dude, there's plenty of clients out there. There's plenty of money to be made.
Yeah.
You know, you can't think that way because then there's no collaboration. There's
Correct.
you're gonna be known as that one realtor who doesn't fuck with anybody.
Yeah.
Or that one lender who doesn't fuck with anybody, and they're gonna be on their own island.
Yeah.
And then people are not gonna want to work with you
Correct.
and send you business. So it's like you have to be able to navigate all those waters too, right? So
1,000%.
So, I know you touched on your dad came out here at an early age. Is your dad Mexican? Your dad's from Mexico? What
Yeah.
part?
He's from a small town 2 hours from Puerto Vallarta
Oh, shit.
called Cuale.
Okay.
Cuale, Jalisco.
Do you go out there often?
Yeah, we've gone for like the town festivals.
Oh,
which are
sick. What month?
13 de junio.
Oh, shit.
So
It gets lit.
Yeah, it gets lit. Yeah, but the town is very small. So
Yeah, it's like
there's-
us, where we're from. We're from Escala, and there's probably 1,500, 2,000 people that live there.
I would say that there's less.
Smaller?
Than Cuale. Yeah,
Okay.
Cuale has maybe like 50 houses
Okay.
and one big ass church, and nobody really lives there year round except for like a handful of people.
And
Like,
those a lot of those people probably work in Vallarta.
Yeah,
That's where the money is,
well,
right?
so like my tia, for example, she's my dad's oldest sister. My dad is the youngest of 13.
Holy
Crazy.
shit.
Yeah, I mean, what else was there to do back then?
Yeah, you have kids to help you fucking do everything.
Yeah, so there's
You
six,
have more kids.
I think there's six women and 7 men for the 13. And my dad's oldest sister, who literally looks identical to my grandma, she still lives in Cuale. And then she just has animals. They take care of the animals. They sell the panela. They make cheese.
Yep.
They sell the panela. They make tortillas. They live at the house. They have their chickens. Like
Nice.
that's literally all
That's
that
the life,
is.
bro.
Yeah.
That's how, a lot of the people in my town too. Like some of the people are tortilleros. They just make tortillas. Some people live off the land and
That's
they
it.
sell corn.
That's
and-
it.
So like everyone has their little thing, right? But yeah, Mezcala, where we're from, is a little bit bigger. So there's more than 50 houses, I would say, but it's small. It's not huge, but there's just one church, one school, like one park,
Yeah.
one cemetery, one this one. So there's one of everything. Very small, and yeah, bro. Like a lot of the people there, like they all. Some not many people live there year round, but right now is our fiestas. And last night was the main day. So
Okay.
showing Ashley
You get to
like
go.
showing. I didn't get to go, but I'm living through their Instagram stories, and it's like
Yeah.
people going berserk, partying till like 5, 6 in the morning. And yeah, it just gets cracking out there. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The main fiestas for the region are in Tepa in April. They call it Tepa Abril, and that's berserk. It's like a 3-week just function.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up,
Party.
go to sleep, party. So it's like party art every single day.
Yeah.
They always got something going on. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah, man, Mexico's cool. Vallarta's were like our favorite beach. Like we love going there.
Right,
Ashley and I love going to Vallarta. That's our spot.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my people. Those are people from Jalisco. So like for me, it's like I'm around my people. They treat me well. I treat them well. I've gone to other beaches and I've not got that vibe. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Some
fan
of them
of
are very Americanized.
Yeah, Los Cabos is hell of Americanized.
Yeah.
That's not my cup of tea per se. It's a beautiful place, just hella Americanized.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is your mom Portuguese?
My mom is Portuguese.
You
Yeah.
go to Portugal a lot too. I see you out there partying. You go out there hanging out a lot too. I've been watching, bro.
Yeah, it was my grandma's 80th birthday, so we were actually just in Portugal. I was there for 2.5 weeks.
Dope.
Um,
Because I saw you had that little giveaway, and it almost landed on Ashley. I was like, oh shit!
almost, yeah.
We almost got that weekend getaway. So
Yeah.
that was hella cool.
Which was, I think it was even better for me that I was pretty much gone for almost the entire month, and my team was able to handle everything to still hit a record month for the time that I've been in real estate, which was
legit,
insane.
man. That's legit.
But we had an amazing time. Yeah, we started in the south of Portugal in an area called Algarve, which is really beautiful. It's kind of like a Cabo of Portugal.
Oh, shit.
And so I got a boat for my family. We went out on the boat for the day. And that was a lot of fun. And then I went to Paris for the Olympic Games with this men's group that I'm a part of. So I went in for the weekend, and then I flew back to Portugal with my family.
Sick.
So we went to Lisboa, which is the capital of Portugal.
How far is Portugal from Paris? Like
It was a 3-hour flight.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, because
that's pretty legit.
I think it's Portugal, Spain, and France.
Correct.
The
Because
countries.
I say you're not flying over too much.
Yeah. It wasn't a lot.
That's that's cool.
But yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun. We went to Lisbon with my family. I was just there with my cousins and my sister. My parents were on the island where my grandma lives, and where my mom was born. She was born on a small island 2-hour flight from Lisboa called Madeira. Actually, where Cristiano Ronaldo was born.
Oh shit!
A lot of people know the area because of that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's like a Hawaii of Portugal. It's like insanely popular now. It gets so packed during.
What's like their main? Do you get a lot of mariscos, a lot of seafood?
They have a lot of seafood, but the island is just super beautiful. It's like a very mountainous island.
Oh, okay.
And you can drive on the entire thing in like 4.5 hours.
Wow.
They have a hiking point that you can get really, really high altitude. It's like the highest point on the island. And you're above the clouds if you walk all the way out, which is really nice. They have black sand beaches.
That's
they have a section of the island that has this like water park that was built with the rocks from the ocean, and it's actually ocean water, so like comes into like the pool area, which is kind of crazy. But it's insanely popular now, and
that sounds amazing.
We go every now and then, but my grandma just turned 80, so we went to go celebrate that.
And she still lives there.
That's awesome. On the island.
So what's like the main what's the main dish out there? Like, what do people be eating? What do
Portuguese people. So like Madeira itself, there's two things that we always get every time we go to Madeira.
Yeah.
One is called lapas, which is this like dish. It's like a dish that comes out like this big.
Yeah.
And it is just a bunch of like small like clams.
Oh.
But they're really tiny. It's actually called lapas. I don't know what it is in English, but they come out with a bunch of garlic and butter. Hella good. And then they also sell this bread that you get on the side, because Portuguese people love bread. And it's called bolo do caco. It's basically just a circle piece of bread that they cook. They cut it in half and they slather it in garlic and butter. Again, they just like slap it together. So you eat the lapas, you put the lapas on the bread, and you eat it like that. And
that sounds
it's fire. Yeah, so every time we go, that's the first thing we did. As soon as we landed, we went. There's a spot right next to this beach that we go to, and that's the vibe.
What do people drink in Portugal?
Wine.
The wine people.
A lot of wine, yeah.
Yeah, because
my
right
grandpa
there
used to make wine.
Spain, and all that influence of the Spanish right there, right? You speak Portuguese too?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very different from Spanish. There's a little bit in there, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
In Portuguese, I would say like, o meu nome é Ricardo. And I was just like, my name is Ricardo.
You understood that your name is Ricardo.
Mi nombre es Ricardo, exactly.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's dope, man. We got to go out there. Hopefully, my second half is listening. We're there.
Yeah.
That sounds beautiful.
Anytime you ever plan a Portugal, if you plan a trip to Europe, you need to add Portugal to the list. You should totally do Lisbon, and then from Lisbon, it's only a 2-hour flight, so you're already there. Just add. You don't need to spend a shit ton of time there. Like I've spent 2 weeks in Madeira, I'm bored as hell. There's really nothing to do on the island.
Got it.
A week is great if you really want to have it be like a destination that you pick, but a weekend would also be totally fine. Like you pick one spot, you go out, you drive around, and you're golden. You go to the city, it's a vibe.
Sounds cool. Amazing.
Yeah, Vallarta too. I have a lot of enjoyment in both. I told my parents that we need to buy property in both because it's getting more and more expensive. Even Madeira now, brand new construction, 500,000 euros for a 1-bedroom condo.
What?
Can you believe it?
That's
just because of the view.
Expensive as shit, dude.
Just because of the view.
Yeah, Vallarta used to be cheap. It's getting hella expensive too.
Hella expensive.
Everything in Mexico. Mexico right now, right now, especially with this new president and where Mexico's going as a country. I would say if you want to invest, you got to invest now, bro.
Yeah,
Mexico's getting hella. Even where we're from, I was looking into getting a couple. I'm still looking into it. Getting at least 2 condos, one for me, and one to Airbnb or probably Airbnb both. But they used to be, if I get a nice one under 100,000, now they're eclipsing 100,000.
Crazy.
So you can pay at least 100,000 for it. But the cool thing out there is that where we're from is very touristy because of the fact that Tepatitlan, next to where we're at, where our family's from, there's just a lot of business with tequila, a lot of business with just tequila in general has really brought a lot of money to that area. And they're building a lot of distilleries in that area, and they're going to put a new train that's going to go through Jalisco to take you to tequila. So there's going to be a lot of tourist shit.
Nice.
So a lot of stuff is really starting to make waves in Mexico.
Yeah.
Tourism, number 1. Number 2, definitely with all their pretty much everything. Have a lot of natural... what's the word I'm looking for? Like all like their natural, like the gemstones and the metals and all this shit. Because Mexico is really rich in like all like their natural
minerals,
everything. So, but yeah, definitely Mexico's going through the roof. Everything's gonna start to make money.
It's so expensive.
So everything's gonna get expensive.
I was already telling my dad we need to buy a property in Vallarta to have it set up as an Airbnb because it's taxed. and it's only going to continue to increase.
You guys, it's always going to be something you guys have, and you're
Yeah.
able to go back and enjoy it. And if not, at least someone else will pay the bill. You know?
A lot of my family still lives in Vallarta, so like for us, like it just makes sense.
Yeah, it's just have a little spot to hang out at.
15 minutes away from my tia's house.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Well, if there's anything else you want to share, definitely want to give you the mic again. Definitely give you, a little bit of, just give you some time to kind of wrap things up. Let people know where to find you. If you want to drop a little tidbit, I was going to ask you if you were to start all over again, but it sounds like you did it all right. So it's like, I don't know what else you would do different.
What would I do differently?
Probably other than maybe learning it sooner, like getting more guidance.
100% would have.
I know you said that 6 months you were just kind of working and not getting really paid, and like you were doing all this shit. But I think, if you were going to start over and do different, like what would you do?
Yeah, that's a great
possibly.
Question. Funny enough, I just graduated college this year.
Oh shit!
In May.
Nice, man. Congrats to that.
I appreciate that.
There you go.
And I always joke.
You can hang up the diploma on the wall.
It's for my parents. It's for my parents.
Yeah, there you go.
It's not for me, to be honest. It's for them. And I always joke with my friends and family. I'm like, if I got into real estate just 1 year earlier, I would have dropped out 100%. But if there's one thing that I would have done differently, I don't think that I would have. Because in all reality, like the one thing that I did was I went and I found a mentor and I said, I'm willing and able to put in the work and the hours. I just want to learn.
I think that's
let me be a sponge.
You have to find somebody,
pay dividends.
You have to find somebody who you resonate with, who's going to be able to teach you the ropes.
Yeah.
Because if not, then you're fucking lost.
Had I not gotten fired from Chase, I would have probably been a financial advisor right now.
Thank you, Chase.
So, yeah.
Awesome, bro. Well, where do people find you? How can they look you up?
On all social media platforms, Richie the Lender.
There you go.
There's no E at the end of Richie. And we just started putting out a lot of content on YouTube, showing the day in the life of the 14-hour days that I'm talking about and everything that we're doing. So if you guys want to follow along there, same Richie the Lender.
Beautiful, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for joining us.
For sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah.
All right, guys. It's a wrap. Episode 51. Richie the Lender himself. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, guys.